You wanted to go there. You know perfectly well that the White House was warned in 2019 that Rudolph Giuliani, that is the president's personal lawyer, was, quote, being used to feed Russian misinformation to the president. Giuliani met in December with somebody who the United States government believes is a Russian agent. You know who I'm talking about, a Ukrainian parliamentarian by the name of Andrei Dekach. Are you comfortable with the president of the United States being close to a person like Rudy Giuliani, who says also that he is not bothered whether any of the information comes from Russian hacking? What does that say?
Are you comfortable that CNN used Russian disinformation from a Russian asset to leak it to subvert the peaceful transfer of power? The reporting on the dossier, which was complete, verified Russian disinformation. Is it not? Is it not?
Liz, let's just get back to the story.
Was the dossier real? Was the dossier real? Oh, it's very relevant because everything that Democrats accused us of doing is what they themselves did. Rudy Giuliani is not a Russian asset, and we've heard this smear very well before.
It's the United States government who said it, not me and not CNN. The United States government has reported.
The FBI. Okay, you know what also the United States government says? The FBI says this laptop is not Russian disinformation. So what are you talking about here? This laptop is real. It's not just the laptop. There's other emails. There's text messages. They are real. So according to the U.S. government, the FBI has verified this.
Everybody to look at that, but that's not what we're hearing from the FBI.
Why don't you want to report this? This is one of the most powerful families in Washington, the Biden family. And you're okay? You're okay with our interests being sold out to profit Joe Biden and his family when we're suffering during a pandemic from communist China? He's doing shady business deals with communist China. You're comfortable, okay?
As you know perfectly well, I'm a journalist and a reporter, and I follow the facts. And there has never been any issues in terms of corruption. Now, let me ask you this. Yesterday, the FBI...
FBI... How do you know that?
I'm talking about reporting and any evidence. I'm talking to you now.
Okay, I would love if you guys would start doing that digging and start doing that verification.
No, we're not going to do your work for you. I want to ask you a question. The FBI,
it's a journalist's job. It's a journalist's job to find out if this is verified.
Of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Adam Schiff. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. Does it surprise you at all that this information Rudy Giuliani is peddling very well could be connected to some sort of Russian government disinformation campaign?
Well, we know that this whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin. That's been clear for well over a year now that they've been pushing this false narrative about the vice president and his son. And, you know, the idea that the president, that the White House counsel and others were made aware that Giuliani was being used by Russian intelligence and using Russian intelligence in the sense of meeting with an agent of the Kremlin and pushing out this Kremlin false narrative. The idea that they were knowing and still on the floor of the Senate during the impeachment trial, pushing this Kremlin narrative is pretty breathtaking. But I guess at this point, we can't be shocked by anything this administration does, no matter how craven. But clearly, the origins of this whole smear are from the Kremlin, and the president is only too happy to have Kremlin help in trying to amplify it.
Now investigating whether recently published emails that purport to detail the business dealings of Joe Biden's son are tied to an ongoing Russian disinformation effort targeting the Biden campaign. CNN senior national security correspondent Alex Marquardt is joining me now. Alex, tell us what's happening here.
Well, Brianna, we're being told by two people who've been briefed on what the FBI is doing that they're looking into whether these unverified emails about Hunter Biden that were published by the New York Post about foreign business dealings are part of that bigger Russian disinformation effort, which, of course, is well underway in these final days of the 2020 presidential election. Now, the intelligence community has said for months that Russia is very actively engaged in a disinformation campaign against the election, in this election, in particular against Joe Biden, trying to denigrate his campaign, as they said, in favor of President Trump. So the New York Post says that they got these Hunter Biden emails from Rudy Giuliani and Steve Bannon. that they were found on a laptop left in a repair shop in Delaware, which, according to Giuliani's lawyer, reached out to him. Bannon, according to the newspaper, indicated that he also knew about these emails last month. Now, for a long time, Rudy Giuliani has been openly working to dig up dirt and promote disinformation on the Bidens. One person he has teamed up with is a Ukrainian politician whose name is Andrei Derkach. Derkach has been named by the U.S. intelligence community as a Russian agent and has even been sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department. So here you have Giuliani openly working with a known Russian agent, and now the Washington Post is also reporting that the intelligence community was so concerned that the Russians were using Giuliani to feed Russian disinformation to President Trump that they warned the White House about it last year. Giuliani, as you might imagine, is denying this. Listen to what he said on Fox News earlier today.
No one in the Trump administration warned me. No one in the intelligence community warned me. The president didn't say that to me. This is the first time I'm hearing that. Right. And I have a pretty good idea where it's coming from. And these are people who are trying to tear down Donald Trump and destroy his presidency
and
from
Mr. Mayor,
inside the intelligence community, of which there are many.
So people trying to tear down President Trump, again, that classic deep state argument that we hear from.
As you know perfectly well, I'm a journalist and a reporter, and I follow the facts. And there has never been any issues in terms of corruption.